Our city planning class was given the task of experiencing public transport systems in Cape Town in the form of an amazing race type exercise. We used the 5 Ds from UN Habitat's 2013 report on planning and design for urban mobility as a theoretical framework. These are listed as density, diversity, design, destination accessibility, and distance to transit.
Our first clue directed us to Athlone Stadium from Main Road, Rondebosch. We chose to move through Mowbray via taxi. Mowbray presented a rich diversity of transport modal options in the form of taxi, bus and train station, all in close proximity.
Where are we running?
Where are you going? We're going to Athlone.
From Athlone, our next stop was UWC. We had to wait for a long time to find a taxi going past. This highlighted an issue of destination accessibility, being efficient near to the intermodal node of Mowbray and much less so towards a less visited destination. The flexibility of the minibus taxi system, however, worked to our advantage in that we could negotiate as a group to divert a partially loaded taxi to our destination. En route to UWC, we saw large areas with mostly residential and informal land uses. A lack of diversity of land use at a metro scale would result in a pattern of heavy morning and evening commuter traffic.
We're like a big happy family. Those guys are embarrassing.
From UWC we had to get to Century City and chose to go via Belleville Station. This section revealed problematic flaws in spatial design where areas in between main nodes were less pedestrian friendly.
Belleville Station now, catching a train which we can all walk.
We took a train heading to Cape Town via Century City. In doing so, we got a view of the distance to transit that would affect mobility. This is a measure of distance from a transit stop to a residence or workplace. From the train, we could see how far some people would have to travel to get to a station. We also noticed a relationship between density and distance from train stations, and were surprised by how sprawled the built form was.
We approached Century City from the side that rail commuters would and noticed that the urban design didn't prioritize people who used that mode. One of our MyCity cards didn't have credit on it, and so we were forced to walk to Century City and enter from the basement parking with other rail commuters.
Once we had loaded MyCity credit from inside Century City, we noticed that access to transport options had improved. At this node, distance to transit as well as destination accessibility was good for people who use the space. This is as a result of density and land use diversity, which allowed for a viability of transport options.
We chose to take the MyCity to Salt River. The MyCity stops in a variety of areas with a fine grain of different land use types along the route. It also linked wealthy areas to more informal areas very well. This highlighted a rich diversity and destination accessibility. Distance to transit was also much better along the MyCity route than along the rail route.
So we are on a new bus, Kiara. How many buses have we taken? What has been your experience? 5? What?
In Salt River, we had to walk from one main movement route to a parallel route. We walked up one of the many lightly trafficked roads that link these routes. The design presents a rich pedestrian environment along the main routes, but it doesn't always extend through the connector routes, making these streets less inviting to pedestrians.
After looking at the 5 Ds in relation to Cape Town's transport system, we determined that Cape Town does have quite an extensive public transport system. However, it is spread over a large urban footprint which negatively affects performance. There is a good diversity of public transport options in Cape Town, but it is affected by varying density. The spread out urban form of Cape Town affects distance to transport as well as destination accessibility, where we noticed that the further we got from the city, the less these two performed. The design of Cape Town displays a fragmented pattern with good design concentrated around nodes, which becomes fragmented as you move away from these nodes.
Bye.